Brendan, and we're Fox and Rabbit Designs. Welcome to our third floss tube. It's actually our third time, or third attempt we've had at filming this floss tube today. Hopefully this one works. The first one, someone who looks after all the technology here forgot to press the record button. The second one, the camera didn't focus. So we got all the way through both of those. They were amazing floss tubes, probably the best that was ever filmed.
And if you believe that, we've got some swamp land across the road to sell you.
Yeah. So this is our third attempt, as I said. We're filming this Sunday night now on the 4th of July.
Yeah, so it's the first Saturday in July, which means it's the commencement of NAIDOC Week here in Australia, which is a week-long celebration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island culture. So we'd like to acknowledge the Darjunkan people on whose land we reside, and we pay respects to their elders, both past and present.
4th of July is also Independence Day. So all our American friends are
Happy 4th.
Having their barbecues, with their fireworks, enjoying their family and their friends. But we also found out it's also National Caesar Salad Day. And my favourite, Sidewalk Egg Frying Day. Not so much here in the Southern Hemisphere where it's pretty cold, but some of our friends have had some pretty hot days lately, so maybe they're frying eggs on the sidewalk.
And also it's Alice in Wonderland Day, which is actually rather timely for me because I'm in the middle of designing a year-long stitch-along that's going to be starting, I'm hoping, in January next year. I know there's a few Alice in Wonderland designs happening out there at the moment, but I've checked them all out and they're not close to what I'm doing, so hopefully you'll all enjoy that. But we'll have more details on that later in the year. But I thought that was appropriate that I was designing today on Alice in Wonderland Day. So that's all the important things happening today. It seems like yesterday we filmed our second floss tube, but it's been a lot's happened in the last 2 weeks. Brett and I have been down to Sydney to get our first Pfizer vaccination. We'll get our second in August, so we'll be fully vaccinated, so that will be wonderful. We've also been in lockdown, haven't we, Brett?
Yeah, so we're heading into our second week of lockdown here in New South Wales. About half of Australia, I think, is locked down at the moment.
Yeah.
Through COVID. We've had a few outbreaks of the new variant of COVID, so it's all a little bit scary for everybody. But hopefully everyone's keeping safe, and we'll all be out of it in the next week or so.
Friday. Yeah, so hopefully, I think our roadmap out of this is for everyone to get vaccinated so that our borders can start opening up again. Brett and I are obviously hoping against hope. It's looking more likely as more vaccinations become available in Australia that we'll be able to go to Nashville next March. So we're crossing everything in the hope that still happens. As I said, it's starting to look good because we're starting to get a lot more vaccinations available. We had a very slow rollout, but it seems to be picking up speed now. So let's pray that everyone goes out and does that so we can get out. And for the people who don't choose to be vaccinated, that's their business. But as long as the people who can we can get our borders open again. So we're looking forward to that day, as are many people that we know. So we've been literally at home for a week and a half now, and Brendan's been getting as much dyeing as he can done, although the weather hasn't exactly been favourable. We've had very cold, wet, miserable days, but he's getting there.
Yeah, it just makes it hard to dry the linen.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
We will get there. Shops will start having their more linens mailed out the next week. We've got a huge delivery of linen coming from Zweigart in the next week, Brett.
Yeah, it's on its way now, so it's just left Germany.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be here mid to late next week.
So I'll be getting a lot of designing done because by the time that arrives, I'll be cutting and serging for about 2 weeks solid. So I'm spending the next week trying to get as many designs done as I can. So that was about. Oh, and also we had other big news this week. We made a big decision regarding the Blackberry Rabbit. Do you want to tell them?
Yeah. So most of you know we've been running 2 design businesses, Fox and Rabbit Designs, who are doing predominantly antique samplers and hand-dyed linens. We also had Blackberry Rabbit, which was Karen all on her own.
Yep.
Where she was designing quirky little things, constructed boxes and just really...
Yeah, just my original designs.
Yeah, original designs. But we've been listening to people, and it seems to be confusing people a lot with the 2 design companies. And it's also meaning we're duplicating a lot of services. We're duplicating webs. We're duplicating, all the sales platforms, all the credit card platforms. So it's costing us a lot of money.
Tax, everything's done twice.
Yeah, to actually do that. So we've come to the decision. We come to a final decision yesterday.
Yeah.
To merge those two design companies together and just run forward with Fox and Rabbit Designs. Fox and Rabbit Designs has a wider reach. More people know about that design company. And I think Karen and I are more associated with that than we were with any other brand name.
Way more, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so at the moment we're in the process of going through and rebranding everything. So we're updating the websites with all the new branding, and we're slowly getting all the charts and stuff reprinted with the new branding as well. So it's going to take us a month or two to roll that out fully. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew what was happening, and
it'll certainly make it easier for our distributors as well. And also when we do things like Nashville Market, Brett and I are in the same room. Our designs are all around the room, but obviously we're paying for two separate companies. Whereas this way it'll be more cost effective for us. Also with Needlework Expo at the end of August, and as Brent said, a lot less confusing. Nothing will change. My designs will be exactly the same from the previous catalogue. It'll just be badged under Fox and Rabbit. That's the only thing that'll change. So I'm still doing, the things I was planning on doing. It's just that they're going to be badged under Fox and Rabbit. So yeah, I think that'll make everyone a lot less confused. So, and Brendan wants to also tell you all about, it's been a big couple of weeks. We also had a massive drama just after we filmed our last floss tube. We had...
it wasn't really a massive drama.
Oh, it kind of was at the time. But anyway, it was with Etsy. Look, I'm sure there are many people who have no problems with Etsy, and that's great, but we will no longer be doing anything with Etsy.
Yeah, so we went through the process of setting up the Etsy account for Fox and Rabbit. We proved our identities. We gave them every piece of paperwork they could have ever wanted to prove who we were. And then we started to sell some linen on there. And thank you to everyone who actually went on there and bought some of our linen. But unfortunately, the volume of sales we did in a short period of time set off a whole bunch of flags at Etsy. And I don't know what they decided we were.
Money launderers, I think. I don't know. Yes, some sort of criminals.
Sort of criminals. And they put a complete lock on the account. They wanted to re-verify our identities.
Which we did
again. And they told me that a passport and a driver's license wasn't sufficient to actually prove that I was who I was, so they weren't going to release any of the money. So all the money that everybody had paid for the linen they'd ordered, Etsy were going to keep.
Yeah.
So we had no choice but to close the Etsy account down.
And refund everybody.
Yeah, so that allowed us to refund everybody, and we closed the account down entirely. And we set up a web page. So there's a link down below of the web page that we've set up. All the initial linen that we had, we've sold. I'm sorry for the people that missed out. But there are a few pieces that are left over from the people that placed orders on Etsy. But when we had to close Etsy down, they for some reason or other, they decided they didn't want the linen, or they haven't got back to us. So we're going to put those pieces of linen up in the next couple of days. So those people that missed out, there'll be some 36 count and some 40 count Eureka up for sale. And just a reminder to everyone, those pieces are seconds. So they're still really good pieces of linen. They just have some faults in it. And these ones here have some marks on them. So we had some cross-contamination in a dyeing process.
Some grey spots from when Brendan was doing prehistoric. Some little splashes just went over onto the Eureka, which is like a pale, gold sort of colour. So yeah.
Yeah. So some of those pieces, all of those pieces have some spotting. Some are worse than others. The ones that are worse, we actually pulled out as separate. But the linen is perfectly fine. It's just that we can't sell it to shops to sell to you as first quality linen.
And there'll be times when Bren might be experimenting with a colour and it doesn't make the catalogue. He'll put those pieces up for sale, and I think you're going to get people to sign up, Bren?
Yeah, so one of the big comments that we've had from people is they were disappointed that they missed out on some of the linen. So they've asked us to put up or to create like a newsletter mail out to let everybody know.
Notification email.
Yeah, when we actually put those linen pieces up on the website so they can get on there and have a look at them. So we'll get that set up in the next day or so.
And again, those links will be down below on our Fox and Rabbit retail page. And Brent's slowly putting as we said last Floss Tube, we will be also putting some of our older designs up as PDF downloads, not our new ones, but our older ones. And Bren's actually just in the process of working through all those. He was getting them all up on the Etsy site. Clearly, that has to be now redone, so he's got to move them all over now to our webpage. Makes it a lot easier. Thank goodness for us that Brendan's old career was in IT, so we got that website set up pretty quickly, thankfully. Just addressing some of the comments from last week. I had so many compliments on my scarf, which I truly appreciate, but it got to the point I was typing the same answer over and over, so I thought I would just show it again here. This is not something I've made. I think some people thought I had made this. I wish. This is probably my favourite piece of clothing. Brendan bought it for me. It's a Sophie Dygard scarf. And Sophie Dygard is just an amazing designer of crocheted pieces. You can find a lot of Sophie's beautiful items if you do a web search. So it's I don't know if you can see this, and I'll put the link of her name down below, but it's a bit small, probably. I think it's a bit small. Sophie Dygard. So thank you very much for all those compliments. It truly is my favourite piece of clothing. So yeah, and the other one.
Yeah, so the other question we got a few times is what's a reproduction sampler? We didn't even think to actually explain when we talked about that initially what a reproduction sampler was. I guess because, when you're used to things, you don't think that it might be new to someone else. So reproduction samplers, where we're actually taking a sampler that was stitched by another stitcher. In the case that we're doing antique ones, so samplers that are before 1900, and we're recharting them with modern threads in modern colours, so the stitchers can reproduce them. So just to give you an example, so this is the original sampler for Sarah Newman. Whoops.
I'll hold it up.
Yeah. So this is the sampler that we actually purchased. So it's the original sampler stitched by Sarah. And what we actually do is we sit there with a magnifying glass and a colour card or a whole swatch of threads. And we actually reproduce that stitch by stitch.
That actual one was stitched by Sarah in 1822.
So we actually create a chart and a modern reproduction or a modern version of that design. So when we're doing reproductions, we're actually reproducing them stitch by stitch, or as close as we can stitch by stitch. We can't always do stitch by stitch because some of these, you got to remember that some of these samplers were stitched by little 8-year-olds in candlelight, and they make mistakes. So sometimes they're stitching over 3 threads instead of over 2. Or we've got pieces where there's little bits missing where we have to reinterpret them. But predominantly the reproductions that we produce are really stitch by stitch copies of those original samplers. We also have some of the samplers we produced, like the one we gave away last month, which is like an adaptation or a reinterpretation of a sampler. So that sampler last month that we gave away wasn't actually a complete antique sampler. It had never been finished by the stitcher. So as Karen charted that, then she completed that sampler in the same style. So she kept including the spelling mistakes, which has caused a lot of confusion.
Shout out about that. That was not a mistake. That was the way the little girl stitched it. Oh my gosh. I got inundated with, do you realise you spelt it wrong?
Shepherd
wrong. And the S was back the front. So we knew that. We did actually mention it, but we got tons and tons of emails about the spelling of shepherd.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can blame the little girl who originally stitched it. We thought, well, we'll keep that as an homage to her, even though we had to complete some of the rest of it. We thought, well, that was something that was quite clear on the original, so we'll keep her spelling mistake and the back, the front. And the good thing is, if anyone just cannot handle the word shepherd being spelt wrong, there's clearly an E in the word anyway. Just take out the A and put the other E in and turn that S around, and you'll be good to go. Yeah. So
the other kind of sampler we do is an original sampler, and that could be based on traditional motifs, or it could be something that Karen's totally pulled from her head, like some of the designs she'll show you a little bit later. So they're the 3 main types of samplers that we design. So the reproduction, which is a copy of an existing sampler, an adaptation where we're enhancing or changing a sampler, and we'll always tell you when we've done that, or an original sampler.
Yeah. And again, apologies for not mentioning that before. You just assume things, and we should never assume things. So I hope that's cleared up. If you've got any other questions, please don't even hesitate to ask. Just drop us a comment below and we'll try to answer it in the next video. Also, thank you very much for the kind comments about our sampler wall behind us. We're going to do a quick video at the end of the floss tube of our whole sampler wall, because people are saying, can we see all of it? What are they? So we'll pop on, like we did with our holiday videos last video, we will pop on a little quick video of our sampler wall behind us. Thank you for your kind comments about that though. And before we go any further, the great big one behind me, which is the one that most of the questions have been about, that is Dutch Beauty, and it's by Perman, and to this day it is still my favourite sampler ever. So I guess we'll go on to what we've been stitching this last week. Do you want to go first? Well, you've got less to show than I do.
Yeah,
so.
it's still embarrassing, although Karen has corrupted me, and I am actually stitching two things at once now. So I started something new. So it's by Park Hopper Bart, and I actually met Bart on the
Virtual Stitches on Facebook.
Stitches, yeah, last night or yesterday. So it's favourite colour. So he's designed this so you can stitch it in your favourite DMC colour.
Yeah.
People that know me know I like orange, so I've picked a very subtle orange, a 608. And I've done more than 6 stitches, although I didn't do many yesterday.
No.
Yeah, so it's a start. So this is actually stitched on one of our new linens, which will be released in August, called Black Swan.
That'll be at Nashville Market. Oh, Nashville Market, Needlework Expo.
Yeah. So it'll be available in your stores. And I was dumb enough to pick 40 count when I'm stitching this on, and I need 2 pairs of glasses to actually be able to see it with the black thread.
So not very good after 2 margaritas, joining in everyone on Virtual Stitches last night. So
yeah, but I didn't make my 6 stitches yesterday in 5 hours. I only did 4, which was this little bit here is what I did in the 5 or 6 hours we were on
Brennan
talking to everyone yesterday.
Brennan is seriously looking at starting on FlossTube a group called the 6 Stitches Club. I think he wants to get a t-shirt made and everything, so keep an eye out for that, because he's probably going to do that. So for all of those of you out there that are not the quickest stitches in the world, you might want to join him on that Facebook group. And also, yeah, as Bren just mentioned, big shout out to everyone on Virtual Stitches last night. That was so much fun. Thank you so much to Noah and Vicky for hanging in with us right to the very end. I think poor Noah was going on a run. Check him out on Noah Stitches on FlossTube. He was going for a run, I think, at 8 a.m. this morning, and I think he may have got to bed about 6 a.m. and it was the same for Vicky. So thanks for hanging in right to the end for us. It was epic, and it was so much fun. It was great, and we're going to join in again on it's Saturday afternoon for us, but Friday night in the Southern Hemisphere we're going to be joining the Northern Hemisphere. I keep saying that we're in the Southern Hemisphere. To everyone north of us, we'll be popping in next Friday night for a chat and a stitch with everyone. So hopefully you can join us.
And I'll do another 4 stitches.
Yeah. Okay, so what have I been stitching? Because it was the Blackbird Stitch All the Blackbirds weekend this weekend, I'm just working my way through, what's this one? It's Rose, Hips and Ivy. It's in the Sewing Club, the Blackbird Designs Sewing Club book. And it's Rose, Hip and Ivy, which is the little pin drum. It's the very first project in the book. I love pin drums. I love everything in this book. I'm going to stitch my way through every project. And so far, this is all I've got done so far. It is on 36 count vintage mocha, and it's with all of the call for colours. So it's stitching up really, really pretty. And I just love that so much. Next thing, I am in a stitch along that my friend Paulette's running, and it is for Carolyn Amelia Trail with Thy Needle and Thread. My friend Jody is also in this with us. So it's us 2 Aussies and some of our American friends. It's been great because Paulette's been setting the tasks every week, which have been very achievable. My problem is that I actually started doing it on a different linen. I was a bit concerned about some of the colours showing up, and I should have just gone with my gut right from word go. But in the end, I just thought, you know what, they're just not showing. They're not standing out right. So I decided to start from scratch. So I've ditched that one and started all over again. Now everybody else in our little group has finished right across this first row. Today, I believe, was the deadline for that one. So including, I was right up to this big house, which had I have kept stitching, I would have actually been up to date. But no, I decided to start again. So I've got a lot of stitching to do to catch up. So this next 2 weeks, I'll be stitching like a demon just to try to catch the girls.
You'll be in trouble.
I'm going to be in such trouble if I don't catch up. So I just went with straight platinum, which is my go-to colour when it's not a hand dye. And it's with so far it's with the call for colours, but I am making a few changes just to flowers and things as I go. So that's a really, really fun stitch. But anyone who knows me knows I love stitching things once. I don't like stitching things twice, and it's been a week of that for me. So that was the first thing I've had to stitch twice. The next one, I'm actually this week. There was a brand new release from Long Dog this week called Quinto Acuto, the Pointed Fifth. So I've actually decided I'm actually running I started a Facebook group, and we're doing a stitch along for this over the year. Now, I'm actually just setting weekly assignments, but everyone on there can just stitch at their own pace, or they can stick to the assignments. Completely up to you. But I was doing so well. So this is just a blown up picture of the actual sampler. The orange part there was supposed to be the assignment for week 1, which is still I'm setting the assignments every Friday, so I've still got 5 days to stitch this. But this is my stitching so far. Now there was another story with that one too. I was nearly caught up, but I was sitting there and I said to Brendan, you know what I've done? I've actually started stitching it from the wrong end. So all the fabric that I had rolled onto to stitch down onto was at the top, and I would have, if I'd kept going, stitched completely off the edge of my linen. So I had to unpick everything that was down over here in this corner, flip it around and start all over again. So I could have kicked myself. So this is the second thing this week I've had to stitch twice. I'm actually stitching it in these colours. Oh, it's a bit big to hold. So, yeah. So this is, most of it will be done in Jack, which is a cottage garden thread. It's for like a antique orange through to like a dark grey with black and DMC black and DMC 3865. So hopefully when we do our next floss tube in 2 weeks, I will have 2 weeks worth of stitching done on that doesn't have to be repeated. So yeah, so that was a bit of fun this week, but I'm glad I've gotten it all put aside and started again, and I'm back on track. So that was all my stitching this week, except I'm doing as we stitch our models or they start coming to life before they're released, we will be showing you on here. The only thing I did stitch this week, which I can't show you because it's part of the Cruel Goblins Schoolgirl Sampler Club, where the next designers in releasing something for the club. So obviously I can't show you that. I've been working on that this weekend as well, and once that's been released, we can then show you what that one looks like, but the club members need to see that one first. So yeah, so that's been my stitching week. And so now we thought, well, we might just show you just a couple of our existing designs. We'll keep taking you through our back catalogue before our new releases start coming out. So Brent can show you one of our samplers first. Got to remember, it's all Fox and Rabbit now. So it's all Fox and Rabbit.
You got to play a part of the team now.
Yeah.
So this is one of our reproduction samplers. So it's Susanna Love. So she's a pretty little English sampler. We don't know much about her or about her history, but it's just a cute little sampler.
This one will be on our website
as a PDF.
As a PDF, I don't believe it's stitched in DMC.
Oh yeah.
And there is no over one stitching in that one. So I know some people are a little averse to over one stitching, and a lot of samplers just just of the reproduction samplers do have over one. Sometimes it might just be the person's name, the verse, or it might just be a couple of little motifs, but that one is all over 2, which is really good. Okay, I'll show you a couple of mine as I'm continuing my way through my little sort of garlands of insects, for want of a better word. So here it is. Okay, so in previous weeks we showed you honeymakers, which were my bees. And I'm not sure we actually showed you, but that was the honeymakers and that was the little queen bee. So along with the little garland of bees, I always do the little queen version as well for someone who doesn't want to stitch the entire thing. So we had the Dragonfly Dreams and Dragon Queen that we showed you last time. Oh, actually, I think it was on our first video when we were on holidays. This one is called Butterfly Bliss. Because I love butterflies. This was the second in our series. The third was the dragonflies.
Yep.
And so that was Butterfly Bliss. And this little one is its companion. And that one is called the Monarch. And both of those are up for download now too. So
Well, they will be.
Well, they will be when Brendan puts them up. So that's 2 of mine. Another little one of mine that I released at market. Now this one's not as a PDF because it has a little hand-painted button that comes with the chart. So this one has to be...
You have to get that from your local needlework
store. But this one was a 2020 Nashville release. This one's called Friendship Blooms. And I'll see if I can get in close. You'll see the little tiny hand-painted button. That's by Theodora Cleve, who's an Australian artist who does a lot of hand-painted buttons, and they're just divine. And this, and this is the little pin cushion that's also included with the chart. So that one is Friendship Blooms. Okay, so what's the next thing? I suppose, so they're just a couple that we're going to show you this week. We're going to actually have those as our giveaways this week. So I think Brendan's going to give away 5 copies of Susanna Love.
Yep.
What do we have in the comments for that one?
Love.
Just love? Yeah.
Nice and easy to spell.
So if you just put love in the comments below, we'll draw that out next week. We'll insert a video at the end of the giveaway winners for last week at the end of the video. I'm giving away 5 copies of Butterfly Bliss. So if you just type butterfly in the comments below, and you'll be in the running for those as well.
And we'll be sending those out as PDFs.
As PDFs, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've got a few little fully finished objects to show you. So as I said last time, I actually love doing the finishing. This little one here is Dame of the Needle by Brenda Gervais from With Thy Needle and Thread. This was a fabulous little one to stitch. Just used some little antique buttons I had on the trim. And that opens up to a lovely little sort of housewife type pin keeper come needle minder. I used some of the hand-dyed felted wool from Hatched and Patched, who are out at Bathurst. Annie's lovely husband Pete dyes all their beautiful felted wools. So that was a nice little finish. As I said, just love making things like that. And okay, this is a lovely design by Kathy Barrick. It is Miss Elizabeth Perkins. This was stitched for me by my friend Margaret. When we used to do a lot of shows for Linen and Threads, we used to get some models stitched, and she kindly stitched this beautiful one for me. It's one of my favourite Kathy Barrick. So we've got that one, and then this one's got to go down. When we were out of lockdown, this beautiful one is Miss Mary Hadley, and she's sort of a companion piece to that. And that will be getting framed in the same frame.
Same type of frame.
Same type of frame, yeah. So that they can be together on the wall. I just love the way Kathy has done these divine skirts. The patterns in the skirts are just beautiful. So that's those 2. I've also got Peace on Earth, another Kathy Barrick design. My friend Naomi stitched this one. It's on 32 count natural linen. So it's just beautiful. Technically, I guess it's a Christmas piece, but it will be hanging in our house year round because we don't do the shows anymore. So all the models are all now living in our home. So that's those ones. And last but not least, this is a little one called Farmhouse Christmas, and it's by Little House Needleworks. And again, I love stitch. I love all things Christmas, Halloween, anything holiday. It's usually on. The only thing I regret about Christmas is that I can't hang it all year round, although some things I do. Again, that's Little House Needleworks, Farmhouse Christmas, and it's stitched on 32 count natural linen. Yeah, so that's those ones. So that's everything to show you that that we've been working on or has been finished. I guess now we'll go through our purchases, and Brendan for once has got a few as well as me. So what have you decided to stitch? Along with his love of antique samplers, and everyone knows he's completely and stitches a lot of them, he also has a very different side to him. Don't you, Brendan?
It's normal.
Normal. One day we'll videotape Brendan's office so you can see what he designs in. It's full of Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, aliens. It's a fabulous room, so we'll video that one day and show you all as well.
Life would be boring if those things didn't exist.
Yeah.
So during the week, I've discovered, I think Karen's known about
for
a
ages.
little while, but I've only just discovered the Witchy Stitcher. So I bought a few charts from them. They follow in the theme of what I like.
Yeah.
So the first one is the Baba Yaga. So I think these are all Russian.
Folklore type.
Cryptid creature thingies.
Yeah.
And
Love this one.
Leshy. And I really love this one, which is called Halloween Morning, but it's like Victorian morning jewellery, but with a jack-o'-lantern in it. Don't know whether I overstitched them, but I own them now. But we've also signed up for their stitch-along.
We both have.
Yeah, so they're doing a cryptid stitch-along. So you can see all the details on their webpage. It starts in August.
We'll put the link below.
Yeah, so I think Karen and I are going to have a competitive stitch there.
Yeah, that'll be good.
She thinks she's going to win.
I know I'm going to win. Brendan's actually, I've kindly asked him to dye me a special piece of linen for mine, and he's going to do one for himself, so they'll look very different because I think I'm going to go with a grungy green vibe, whereas Brendan's going to go with a kind of a grungy brown, I think. But there's eight skeins of black, which is not unusual for the Witchy Stitcher, but it's just going to... But there's other colours as well. It's going to be so much fun. So...
and we bought the T-shirt to go along with it as well.
Yes, we bought the T-shirt. I don't know when that'll arrive, but that's coming from the States. So hopefully... Canada, sorry.
Yeah.
So hopefully the mail will be nice and quick. So we've got it in time to start. It starts in August, so you've got plenty of time to join in. I believe the border is coming out first in August, and I think the first cryptid will be out in September. Is that right?
I thought that was August as well. I don't know.
No, I think it's the border. I'm pretty sure the first cryptid is September, but that may be wrong. Yeah. So that'll be fun. So we'll have to get the whip crack on him. I think the one good thing about Brendan, he's extremely competitive. If anyone who has ever played Monopoly with him would know he doesn't like to lose. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep up on this one. So we'll hold him to it every floss tube. We'll show up our progress every time. So that'll be fun. Is that all you bought?
Yeah, I was very restrained, unlike you.
Oh, I'm never restrained, especially when you're in lockdown. And so this is my haul. Okay, my friend Andrea, who has just returned from living in the United States. She was born in the United States, married an Australian man, lived here for 15 years, went back to the States for about 5 years, and now they've moved back home. So when she came home, in amongst all of her packing to move home, she still thought of me and bought me this fabulous box, which I still have to paint and grunge up. But she's known I've wanted to stitch Casting a Spell by Blackbird Designs for quite some time. But as is always the case, usually when here in Australia, it's very hard. You know, I think it comes from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or somewhere, so it's very hard for us. Usually I grab those type of things when we go over for market every year, but she kindly brought this one home with me, so I can't wait to start stitching on that one. And this is just full of fabulous Designs. So that's going to get grunged up soon. Okay, and speaking of Halloween stitching, I love it. I could stitch it all year round, but it's already July and I haven't even begun. I do a lot of swaps with friends and stuff at Halloween, so I've got to get my act together. This one I love. This one is from my gorgeous friend Teresa from Needle Bling Designs. It's called Book of Spells, and it's just wonderful. So I'm going to start stitching that one. You can find that on Teresa's. Well, I know it's in a lot of needlework stores, but also you can buy that directly from Needle Bling. The link is below to their Etsy store. Teresa and Brian from Needle Bling, are great friends of ours. We met them at market about 3 years ago. Hit it off first night down at the bar, didn't we, Brendan? And they've been treasured friends of ours ever since. Teresa and I do some designs together. We designed together and taught a class at Nashville 2 years ago. We have plans to do more collaborative designs, particularly a class for Nashville next year.
It was supposed to be this year.
It was supposed to be this year, yeah, but obviously Nashville was postponed. Nashville Needlework Market was postponed to 2022. As I said earlier, we are desperately hoping that we are allowed to leave the country by then. It's 8 months away. I'm reasonably confident that we can get permission to leave. So hopefully Teresa and I will start getting together via Zoom and designing something for a class at Nashville. Later in this year, we'll get together and start designing that. So check out Teresa's designs. They're fabulous. They're quick to stitch and they're wonderful. Okay, speaking of Nashville Market, again, we met Ronnie Rowe at Nashville Market a couple of years ago. I now know that we haven't feel like we've arrived until I hear Ronnie's voice coming through the bar, giving us a big hug and saying hi again. He does amazing designs. And I went up to his room last year and I found one that I actually love. It's just incredible. His style is incredible, but this one I actually fell in love with. This one's called Daniela. And anyone who knows me knows I love dragonflies, bees, butterflies, everything. And I thought that one is just so beautiful. So I'm going to be starting that one very soon. And it's the sort of one I think that even though it's pretty there, I think it's going to stitch up. It's going to be 10 times prettier in the flesh. So that one I'm going to start soon. Okay, this one I love. Anything with any kind of sampler with a brick house, and willow trees. I love willow trees, so, as in weeping willows. So this one is an oldie but goodie. This one was from 1994, so the year before you and I even got married. And it's still available. It was so great to find out that this one is still available. It's called the Weeping Tree Sampler. And I just am so happy to have been able to still purchase this one. So I'm going to be kitting that one up very soon. I don't think that'll take a long time. The house clearly is a lot of stitching, but the rest of it looks reasonably easy to achieve. So I was just thrilled that that's still available. It's difficult when you find ones and by the time you've found them or you've seen someone stitch them, they're out of print. Because of that, I've had a lot of people desperately searching. We found it with through Linen and Threads. People are desperately searching for out of print charts. So we seem to be starting a lot of Facebook groups, but we've also started a Facebook group about a week ago. I'll put the link below. It's called Unicorn Out of Print Chart Swap. So the idea is basically that everyone gets on there and puts up a list of what their unicorn charts are, the ones that they can't find anymore. Mostly they're out of print. A lot of people are happy to pay a lot of money for them. They just can't get them. So the idea basically is to put up your charts and somebody may be able to either loan them to you as long as they're originals. Someone might say, look, I just want this we thought we'll probably make it about a 6 month turnaround. So somebody might want to loan it for 6 months and then it goes back to the owner, or they just may wish to pass it on. It's only been up a week and already there's been a lot of people married have been able to get their unicorns. So everyone, we've had a good success rate so far. It'll be an agreement between you and the person's either swapping, loaning, or just giving it to you. But it's been great so far. So again, we'll put the link to that Facebook group below. I've managed to find a couple of my unicorns. I'm just thrilled to bits, which are ones from the Primitive Needle which I just love. So they're on their way to me. I can't wait to get them. So thank you so much to everyone who has been so kind in trying to help each other out. So yeah. Okay, and the next one I love is Teresa Kogut. And this one is called Silhouette's Quaker. I'd been waiting. That one arrived, thankfully, while we were away on holidays. So I love it. I'm going to stitch the little green Frankenstein, and anything that's in green I'm going to be stitching with a Chronic Glow in the Dark green, which I think may be a discontinued Chronic metallic now, but I've still got a couple of rolls, thank goodness. So that one there is going to be started before Halloween. I'm just going to take some of these out of the plastics. I just realised the lights are reflecting a bit. This one is from Michelle from Bendy Stitchy. This is a little reproduction sampler. It's called SI 1849, a reproduction, and I love it. It's only a small one. Michelle had it stitched on 28 count linen, but the stitch count is only 157 by 141. So I think that'll be a quick stitch, and I'm going to stitch that on a 40 count, probably hog bristle, and our hog bristle linen. So I think it's got here that recommended fabric size is only 10 inches by 11. So I think on 40 count, it'll be a nice little itty bitty sampler. So hopefully I can stitch that up quickly and show you in the next couple of videos. So that one I just fell in love with. And last but not least, on my chart purchases, this one I picked up from the Krill Goblin down in Sydney before lockdown. It's from the SM Player, and it's called MSD 1735, a Nuremberg sampler. It's not technically a darning sampler, but it's like I'm not quite sure what style you would call this, but I just fell in love with all that beautiful sampler work down the bottom. So I'm not sure if I may change the colours. It's a little pink and blue for me. I may probably do it in more sort of autumn shades, which are more my palette, but I just love that so much, and I think again that one will stitch up beautifully. So that's all my chart purchases. I've started getting back into crochet in all my not spare time. So when I was down, I met my lovely friend Jody just before lockdown happened, thankfully, for lunch down the Southern Highlands, and I popped into Victoria House at Mittagong, and I picked up these beautiful, beautiful hand-dyed Australian wool yarns. It's from a company called Fiore. They're hand-dyed in Australia, and the colour is called Sequoia. So I'm not a proficient crocheter, but I'm picking it back up again. So I think I'll just crochet myself a nice scarf for the rest of this winter. Something nice to do on the cold nights. And last but not least, my gorgeous friend Carol has Cherry Pie Design. She's a beautiful patchwork designer, but she also sells gorgeous fabrics as well. Every so often I'll ask her to order me in a range of reproduction fabrics because they're my favourites, and she'll order me in like a fat quarter pack from Moda. And 2 just arrived. I've got a beautiful Halloween pack arriving too, but hopefully that'll be here soon. And I use these obviously for quilting, for patchwork quilts, but I also use them as in all my finishes as well. So oftentimes I'll need a lining fabric or a back of a pin cushion. This beautiful one is called Maria's Sky 1840 to 1860, and it's by Betsy Chutchkin. It's just, I mean, you can see these will sit there. I'm one of these people that just love them sitting on my desk. I will have to open it at some stage, but it's so pretty.
No, you won't.
Pretty just sitting on my desk.
You'll go and buy meterage of the fabric.
I will probably.
And it will stay like that forever.
I won't, but...
Like the rest of the ones
No.
there.
They are really pretty when they're sitting on your desk. This one is called Lady's Legacy, and it's by Barbara Brackman, and it's just divine. As you can see, I just adore reproduction fabrics, meaning that they were... a lot of the designs in them were reproduced from quilts from the 1800s, and they're being reproduced today by these wonderful designers, and I just love them so much. So if you're looking for patchwork fabric, check out Cherry Pie Designs. The link's below. Carol's fabulous. I'm a bit biased because she's a very good friend, but she's also has an amazing eye for picking out colours, and the ranges of fabrics that she stocks are just divine. So check out Carol's store. And that's it for purchases. I think I have more, but I'll share those with you next time.
It's because you don't want to admit to me that you've actually bought.
Okay, and
This is really bad for you, isn't it?
it is bad. I can't sneak things as much as
I buy
used to.
technology stuff which you don't care about.
I was going to say,
And
absolutely.
I can sneak into the house and you don't care.
That's right.
But you've got to show me everything you buy.
It's true. Sometimes I'll just think, what's that thing, Brendan? Oh, I've had that for ages. I'm like, yeah, no, you haven't. So actually, the new purchase this week, it's the one good thing about doing Floss Tube is we're in quite a big room here. It's our lounge room, dining room, and it's quite echoey. So we noticed in the last Floss Tube, I know we hope it's okay this time, but Brendan's now been able to go invest in, again, all thank goodness before lockdown, in some lights and microphones. So he's been geeking out on all of his gadgety things.
No, I bought these in lockdown. I bought them online.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah,
they were
online.
delivered. That's right. So yeah,
If the postman brings it, it doesn't count.
that's yeah. So hopefully these all work. Okay, so now we've got Stitchy Kindness. It was Brendan's birthday a couple of weeks ago.
So I found out I did have some friends after all.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So the first thing I got for my birthday was from our friend Naomi. And she stitched me a cryptid pin drum. So it's got Bigfoot, Yeti,
Move over a little bit. Yeah.
and the Loch Ness Monster.
She knows him well.
All real creatures that exist.
And ironically enough, I had just bought the charts and downloaded them to give him to stitch.
And on the top is a fox.
Yeah.
And down the bottom she's got the fabric is fox and a rabbit.
Yeah.
So the charts are from Darling and Whimsy. I think they're Quirky Quaker.
Quirky Quakers.
Yeah.
And she's got them more coming out, I believe, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird coincidence. I thought, oh my gosh, Brendan will love to stitch those. I just bought them, downloaded the PDFs when Naomi popped around to give him his birthday present. So now he doesn't have to stitch them.
Yeah,
Or maybe he will stitch them as gifts for other people.
So there's three things that I like. Cryptids,
Yep.
so all of those monsters, aliens, and flamingos. And we've got a bit of everything today. So our friend Andrea made me a project pouch with flamingos. Nice spotted fabric on the front. And aliens as well. Oh, and the back's the same with the aliens fabric. So I've got all three covered. And the last thing I got was for our friends in the US, Cindy and Garth. They've bought themselves
A Glowforge.
a pretty fancy laser cutting etching machine.
To say Brendan is jealous is a massive understatement, but we'd have to mortgage our house to get one of these things.
I'm trying to work out how I can sneak that one home without Karen noticing. So they've done some Bigfoot plaques for me. So this is Karen's favourite one, which is like a sort of a paisley type Bigfoot or tribal type Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I've got this one with Bigfoot in silhouette. And my favourite one, which is going to go on my door, my office door, to remind Karen, which is my Bigfoot Leave Me Alone.
It's amazing what can be done now.
It's pretty.
honestly.
It's amazing that they can do all that.
Yeah. Cindy also sent me, because a big package came. My birthday was back in May, so I got some lovely things as well. First of all, what came with Andrea, she also sent me ones for my birthday. I love everything with dragonflies and bees. Andrea's known me a long time. We've just 2 days ago celebrated 20 years of Linen and Threads, but at the very beginning of it all, we were originally called Dragonfly Dreams. And when we for about 15 years, we had a storefront as well. But when we opened our storefront, after having been online for about 5 years, there was a lot of confusion as to what Dragonfly Dreams was. We used to get phone calls asking, were we a Chinese restaurant, tattoo parlor, massage parlor? They were very interesting. Escort service, you name it, they thought that's what we were. So we changed to Linen and Threads, but my love of dragonflies goes back that far. So she made me a beautiful sort of mosaic dragonfly with gorgeous batik fabric. So that was that one, and then there was
And if you can hear hissing in the background, Karen forgot to turn the iron off.
Oh, I did too. That's our iron that we iron all our linens
The roller
with.
iron is actually hissing away in the background.
Okay, so... Oh, sorry about
It's running out of water for the steam.
Okay. Oh, now look at that. Oh, well, not to worry. Won't be much longer.
Like you didn't burn the house down.
And this one is a beautiful batik kind of dragonfly. And and again, she knows my colours. I love green. Green and aqua. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And last but not least, she sent me, I also love all sort of oriental type fabrics as well. And it's beautiful. Oriental project bag. I think the word's getting out that I'm a bit of a project bagaholic because I'm getting some beautiful ones. Cindy also sent me...
The trouble is it encourages you to start new things.
Yeah, see, I need a new project for every bag. This is a good theory. These bags are made by Patience Gray from Sewing Turtle Boutique, but they're made exclusively in these fabrics and stuff for Stitchery Express. So Cindy sent me these for my birthday, and she knows I love bees. These ones, I don't know if these fabrics are available, but I know Cindy's in the process of loading about 100 or so different fabrics on her Stitchery Express website. Again, links below. But this was made by Patience, and it's beautiful. She does the most divine little stitched vinyl zipper pulls, which are gorgeous. So that's the first one. And then again, like I said, everyone knows my bee theme. My friend Carol... and there's a little bee. My friend Carol, who has Cherry Pie Designs, her husband is also a beekeeper as well. He keeps bees. So all of the little beeswax, thread conditioner, little ones that Brendan makes for us, come from Martin's Bees. And she also sent me this lovely long one, which is with a little sheep. And it has the little stitched sheep vinyl, which is gorgeous. And so they're from Cindy. Again, we'll put the link below if you're looking for a fabulous... and this one here, fabulous project bag. This one here is from Dot Dot Goose. And Bren bought me this one because he knows how much I love. This one's in the States. How much I love anything Halloween, skulls, witches. How fabulous is that, the way they've positioned that under the vinyl? And a batik, which I love, a batik skull on the back. Just love it. And that got here in pretty quick time from the States, so that was really good. And it also came with a cute little needle minder, which is a needle keeper, so that is fabulous. So that I love, and I think that was all the things I was given this week. So thank you so much for those wonderful things. We will try. Oh no, I have one more thing. When I had lunch with my gorgeous friend Jody, because we hadn't seen each other for a while, because of various lockdowns, it seems like every time we try to have lunch, which was supposed to also have been this weekend coming, we go into lockdown, or there's an outbreak of the virus somewhere. So this was the first, and thankfully we managed to get our lunch in, her and I, just before the lockdown happened again. So we were very fortunate, but we had a beautiful lunch down the Southern Highlands. And actually, I just remembered I do have another finish for this last week, but I can't show you because it's a swap I'm doing with Jody. So if we can ever meet up for lunch again, I'll be able to show you that finish then. But she made this. Now, I don't know who the designer is, but Jody made this beautiful, beautiful pin cushion for me. It smells divine. It's full of lavender. And she stitched it on our beetroot linen, which was lovely. But she also did... the little leaves are all a beautiful wool felt. So it's just gorgeous. She knows I absolutely adore everything with pears. And this one, I believe, came from overseas too. She also gave me this beautiful, I think it's a ceramic, looks like it's raku-fired, beautiful, beautiful pear. So I'm very, very fortunate to have her as a very dear friend. So I will treasure those. And so that was all of our lovely things we received. And now, so one last thing now, I guess, before we go, just as a commemoration of the fact that the Blackberry Rabbit is now, sorry, that's our dogs barking.
Must be possums.
There must be possums out in the backyard because they've all gone running out there. As a commemoration of the Blackberry Rabbit now being merged into Fox and Rabbit Designs, this little tiny pin cushion I did years and years ago. So we're going to put that up on the Fox and Rabbit site as a free chart. It has it's A to Z, so the entire alphabet is in there. It's a beautiful little, very, very quick stitch that you can stitch for a friend or for yourself. So we're going to put that one. It's called the Cherry Monogram alphabet, I think it's called. Cherry Monogram Pincushion, I think. So you'll find that. Bren will put the link below, and that's just a little free gift for you as a thank you too for everybody who has liked and subscribed this last 2 weeks. It's just 4 weeks. It's been phenomenal. I think we're over 4,000 subscribers, which is beyond anything we ever imagined. Thankfully, we haven't got to 5 just yet, so I didn't have to get that design done lickety, but I think I might have to get it done very soon, the one I said that we would do as a free design for when we reach 5,000. So I'm still quite amazed. I thought I'd have months and months and months to do that. So yeah, so that's just a little thank you to everybody. We've just been overwhelmed by all the lovely comments. I've got so many more I've still got to answer. I'm trying to keep up with them. Brendan's going to have to start doing some comments as well, answering some of the comments. So thank you so much for that. We will put up the winners of the giveaway from last week at the end of this video, and we'll also, as I said, just include a little video for the of the sampler wall behind us.
So just a reminder that if you would like to have a chance to win a copy of Susanna Love, then if you put love in the comments.
Yep.
Oops.
Come here.
Or if you'd like to win this chart, then butterfly in the comments.
Peaches wanted to say hello. I didn't think we'd get through the video without her coming in to say hello, so she's a little bit impatient with not having one of us over on the lounge to snuggle up to. So, and
also because we're filming, we can't have the heater on. So
yeah, so it's freezing in here at the moment.
And she's shivering, even though she's got her little woolly coat on.
Thing too, a few people have asked us if we could feature our linens on our floss tube. We absolutely will. It's just that Bren's just been madly trying to get them dyed and out to shops, but we will definitely be featuring them in our coming floss tubes. They'll be our existing range plus any new colours that are coming out, especially the ones for Expo at the end of August.
Thanks everyone for joining us on this video. We've had lots of fun putting it together, even though it's taken us 3 goes to hopefully get it right. Hopefully I press record this time and the camera's in focus. I'll find out in about
5 minutes.
10 minutes time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Any comments that you have, good or bad, please let us know. If you want anything done differently, if there's anything you want to see that we haven't shown, if there's any questions you want to know about Bren and I, please just ask and we'll answer them in the next floss tube. In the meantime, stay safe. Have a great 4th of July to everyone in the States.
And we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, here's the start of our sampler wall. At the very top there is Fox and Rabbit Charlotte Mills. That one is a Blackbird Designs. It's a Loose Feathers club. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Going down, we've got Fox and Rabbit Charlotte Harris. Beautiful. And then going across, the big one is Mahala Barber. Sorry about the reflection. It's the only one that's actually still got glass on it. Going up, we've got Plum Street, Pat's Friendship Sampler on the left, and Hurt Not the Earth. Going across, we've got Dutch Beauty by Perman. Coming down on the left, we've got Indigo Lane, both the little sampler and the little finished box. Then we've got Fox and Rabbits, Honeymakers, and Queen Bee. Behind that one is Rebecca Aldridge. They're those lovely little pin cushions I showed in previous floss tubes. Down here we've got Janie Tippett, which is a little Cornwall sampler, which is beautiful. Also Fox and Rabbit. In the front here, we've got the little 3 ones here. are With Thy Needle and Thread, Exemplaire Petites. Going across, we've got Butterfly Bliss and the Monarch. Going up, we've got Janet Burns, which is one of our Fox and Rabbit samplers. Then up, we've got beautiful His Eyes on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. Going across, we've got Fox and Rabbit's Mary Ann Bush. Going down, we've got Sarah Haywood by Fox and Rabbit on the right, and we've got Elizabeth Cooper on the left. Going down is the Pink Sparrow sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread, the two Moo the Merriers, which are both now by Fox and Rabbit, Bessie and the Blooms and the Cow That Missed the Moon, and then we've just got various pincushions that I've stitched, mostly Plum Street or With Thy Needle and Thread. The little one on the left there is a little Blackbird Designs. So that's basically our sampler wall. If you've got any questions, please let us know. I think I've covered them all. So thank you.